Good morning. Welcome back to Mrs. Koff's kitchen kindergarten classroom. Ready to go for reptiles. Can you see anything reptilian over there on the table? We're going to get there in a second. But first I thought it would be fun to give you each a reptilian name, the name of a reptile. In the next video that you're going to watch is I'm reading a book called the Yucky Reptile Book, and it's an alphabet book, and it goes through one reptile that has the first letter in his name of each letter of the alphabet. So I thought it would be fun to give you, for today, the name of a reptile that matches the first letter of your first name. All right, here we go. Alvaro is an armadillo lizard, and Cook is a chameleon. Daniel is a diamondback terrapin. Holland, a horned toad. Ian, an iguana. James, a joint snake. Noah, a night snake. Owen, an ornate box turtle. Patrick is a pipe snake. And Zach is for Z stood for zillions and zillions of years ago, when the dinosaurs, who were reptiles, roamed the earth. All right, let's get started. Let's start with the puzzle from our classroom and check his bones. We're talking about animals with bones. So I will make him off the board like you guys love to do. Ooh, look at that skull bone. I'm gonna take off his shell. See if I can get that up there. Am I doing it right? Oh, you guys are much better at this than I am. Hey, look at those foot bones. That's kind of cool. Oh, here we go. And we got something like this going on. Yeah. Okay, Mrs. Koff. How am I doing, guys? And his foot, we lost the little tail. You can see, look at all those cool bones. And there he is put together. Our turtle is a reptile. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Get your covers back on. We don't want to see your bones. All right, now here's the coloring page. I'm going to give you the third page in your book, showing some of the characteristics of reptiles and 4 examples. Crocodile or alligator, snake, a turtle, and this kind of skinky lizard. They've got scales, leathery eggs, and cold-blooded, and we'll talk about that in the file I sent your family. I'd like you to pull that up and use that during our lesson today. But first, were you able to put some white vinegar, there's my jug of vinegar, into a jar with some food coloring? What color did I choose? Green. And I left it there for 4 days. Maybe it's like 5 now. You see all the bubbles? Yeah. Here's an egg that hasn't been soaked. It's hard. Right? You can hear it. And the shell of an egg is made of a substance called calcium carbonate. And when you put calcium carbonate and vinegar together, it makes these bubbles and it fizzes because the vinegar reacts to the calcium carbonate and eats it up and dissolves it. So it's kind of a neat chemical reaction. You can try that. Baking soda is another neat one to watch when you put with vinegar. But it's also really cool because it makes an egg that resembles leathery reptile eggs. I'm going to skip ahead on our lesson. And there's the picture I found that shows two little, I don't know what those are. If they're snakes or alligators or crocodiles, but look at the leathery egg. Leather is like what your shoe is made from, and it bends and is soft. I'm gonna get a pair of Greg's shoes. Here you have these slides, kind of dirty. You can see it bends. This little, and it's probably fake leather, but you get the idea. It bends and is soft like that. And a lot of reptile eggs are like that. You can see the texture there in the folds. Now, get my spoon. Let's see if we can get this reptile egg out of there. Oh boy, it's gonna take two hands. All right, I'm gonna put you down for a second, really close to some scales there. Sorry, lid of the jar. All right, thank you for waiting. Here it is. I got it out. The lid, or the top. I'm gonna put it down on my plate next to my other egg. Wow, look at that. So I have my hard egg like a bird egg. And actually some reptiles have hard eggs too. But a lot have this soft, look at that. Boing, 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 boing. Whoa! Can I bounce it? It bounces! Oh my goodness, this is so cool. And look at that color. Looks like a reptile. I think it came from a turtle. Very cool. Now I'm not going to burst it open, but you can. I'm going to let mine stay bouncy for a while. This is very cool. And you can get an idea of, oh, look at the size too. Look at the reptile egg compared to the bird egg. Yeah, in this case. Even though there are some bird eggs like ostriches that I'm sure are very, very obviously bigger than that. All right, so yeah, most reptile babies come from eggs. Now there are some exceptions. Some snakes I read about. Can you find those? Can you discover which ones are actually not born from eggs? And then if you think about the eggs themselves, which we just saw over here, most reptile eggshells are soft, like leather. But there are some exceptions to that too. Crocodiles, huh? I think they have, I read they have hard eggs. And oh, this is a little bit sad if you're a person. Most reptile parents, they don't stay around to take care of their babies after they hatch. They lay their eggs and they bury them, cover them in sand, hide them in mounds of grass or dirt, and then they leave and they never ever meet their babies. Wow, that would be so terrible for a person, but that's how God made a lot of the reptiles. And actually inside those soft shells is a food source. Part of the shell is something they can eat, so they can get going well when they're first born. Now there are some exceptions. There are some reptile parents that stay around. I think I read something about pythons and crocodiles. I have a picture of a crocodile here. Yeah, look at that. Crocodile has his baby in his mouth, her baby. So she's caring for her baby at least a little bit. Oh, okay, back up now. This is a funny picture. It's just a goofy picture someone made of some lizards laying in the sun at some resort. So the big difference between reptiles and the birds and mammals we talked about so far is that they're cold-blooded. That means their bodies don't maintain a constant body temperature. So how do they get warm? And how do they cool off? Well, they have to lay in the sun. Or if they get too hot, they have to go in the shade or in the water. Now, one cool fact is that because of this cold-blooded nature, they don't burn up as much energy keeping their body warm. You know, our body needs energy from food and rest so that we can keep our body warm. One of the jobs it does. Well, since they don't have to keep their body warm, they don't burn as much energy and they don't need as much food. As an animal, or a mammal, they're similar, they're same size. I thought that was pretty cool. They just don't need as much food. Their body doesn't require it. Okay, we talked about the eggs. Now here, oh, look at that. They're covered in scales. Look at that armor. Looks like gold. I wonder what creature that is, if it's a snake or not. The scales protect their body. And this was interesting. The scales can be hard or soft or big or small. Yeah, it just varies, which is awesome. All right, now reptiles have lungs, so they can breathe air. That's like what mammals and birds, we have lungs. If you get close, you can see, where's my finger? There's the lung right there, that pink kind of balloon shape. They breathe in the air and breathe it out. That's what they need. Okay. Oh, of course, they have backbones and a skeleton for keeping their insides safe and so that they can move. And yeah, look at that snake back vertebrae and rib bones. Okay, is that the last one? Yeah, that's the last one. Okay, so I'd like you today to, I'll send this as a scan. And like the other pages like this, I'd like you to cut out the ones that are reptiles and put them on a paper that says reptiles. Or maybe in this case, we take away the ones that are not reptiles. And we know a leopard's a mammal. No, we don't want that on there. And we know a seahorse is a fish, not a horse. And we know that the robin is a bird, not a reptile. And the goldfish is a fish. So find the 5 that are reptiles and put them, cut them out and put them on a page. I'll put these back. And then I want you to color the page that I'll scan and send called reptiles. See if you can look up pictures of these animals and make it realistic if you like. You don't have to, but maybe it'd be fun to see what they really look like. Now, I mentioned this experiment and activity last Friday and then again yesterday. So if you performed this, fantastic, enjoy that. If you didn't have a chance to, give it a try. This one I let sit for 5 days. And maybe you could do it just for one and see what happens. Oh, I forgot to mention, I got myself a snack to eat, a reptile snack. Twin snakes, sweet and sour. You see they're stuck together. 1, 3. And what are the flavors? You guys like to know these things. Let's see. This is cherry and orange. Where's my cherry and orange? Right there. Twins. And I've got apple and lemon. That's easy to tell, the green and the yellow. And blueberry and black currant. Black currant. Blueberry I can tell. Then I found in the Ranger Ricks we have this whole page on Welcome to Reptile World. They may not all look the same, but they are alike in special ways. Turn to the page to find out how. So we have crocodile, green crested lizard, painted turtle, and a common boa constrictor. Look at that eye. Oh, snake eyes. They have scaly skin. They don't have feathers or fur. They have cool, dry skin that is covered with scales. Look at those scales. Wow. They're different sizes too. These look bigger than those, like we were talking about. Looks like he even has scales on his claws. Incredible. Here we have a gecko. Look at those scales. Different colored ones. And a pit viper. Scales. Green armor. Hot or cold? A reptile's body is the same temperature as the air or water around it. So reptiles often sit in the sun to warm up. They hide in the shade to cool down. Here he is warming up. Collared lizard. Look at those blue scales. Wow. And here it looks like this tortoise is cooling down in a muddy little cavey under the water bank, the side of the water bank. Here's an alligator. He's near the water. Guess he's getting warm. But if he needed to cool off, all he has to do is drop into the water. Alright, that's the end of those pages. I also thought this was cool. Snakes use their tongues to smell. What? He's smelling with that tongue. Not tasting it at the moment. That's pretty cool. And oh, here. This one has the shape of a heart. It's called a scarlet snake. I thought that was so pretty. And then last it says tortoise here. He's from an island called the Galapagos. He can go for a year without eating or drinking. So imagine, one whole year, from one birthday to the next, not eating or drinking. That amazes me. Alright, now in the next video I'm going to send how to make this snake craft. Enjoy!